Don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Oh, that's hot. Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's time for the first mid-month mini mission inspiration for 2022. So we're a little bit late this month because the 1st of January fell on the Saturday, and I didn't really want to be doing anything on New Year's Day because hangover, that kind of thing. So we just moved everything back 1 week for January, but we're back to normal again in February because the first Saturday falls on, I think it's the 5th of February, so we're fine to carry on with the first and third Saturday in February, and then in perpetuity after that, providing it doesn't fall on any national holidays again. So today is the first time we've done the random picking of the letter. We did this in, I think it was 2020, when Ian did the randomizer machine. This time I'm just literally just shaking it up in a pot and pulling out a letter. And the letter for this month was the letter G. So let me turn over to my overhead camera and show you the card and what I'm going to do for this month's project. Okay, so the letter, as I said, that got pulled out for January was the letter G. So the 5 words for inspiration are green, guardian, graffiti, garden or gnome. So if you're really clever, you can combine more than one of the words if you can. But if none of those 5 words inspire you to create anything, then you can always think of a different word beginning with the letter G and let that inspire you. We're not stuck. As long as you stick to a G, we're fine. So I'm obviously going to go for the gnome, or the garden gnome. I may even do a green garden gnome. But before I do anything, I need to sort out my journal for this year. Now, I made a mistake. Definitely made a mistake. When I put all my journals for sale on the internet, I did not make sure that I'd left one for me. So temporarily, I'm going to have to make use of, I've taken one of the covers from a previous year and I'm going to have to temporarily create a back-in until I've got time to actually get some more of the journal kits, the tag journal kits cut and back on the website again. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Let's just go out a little bit, just a tiny bit. That's it. I can see better now. Let's just make sure that we're focused in as well. So let's just see if we can get that focus in. Come on, Mr. Camera. He doesn't want to play ball today. We'll try it in a minute anyway. Unless I can force it to. Yes, I can. There we go already. Better. Okay, so I've already cut one out of grey grunge board. So what I want to do, just temporarily, I just want to cover it. So what I've done is I've got some papers from an old K&Co pad. So these will do. And all I've done is just drawn around the tag, basically. So I just need to quickly cut these out, which shouldn't take long because they're pretty much straight lines. But when you're drawing around something, you've got to remember to cut on the inside of the line, not the outside of the line. But if I go over a little bit, not too bothered because I can always just use an emery board just to go around and remove any excess. So let me just cut these 2 out and then I'll be back. Okay, so we've got the front and back cover stuck down. I will need to just trim around there and just tidy it up, but we'll leave that to dry just for now. Put it to one side and let that just set as is, and then we'll be all right. Okay, so that's the card for January. So again, I've got a tag made from watercolour cardstock, but this is where I made the second mistake, because I just did it freehand. I didn't actually measure it properly, so it's slightly smaller. Yeah. Now that I've got a cover, I can use the template to create the tags next time, but I just did that freehand from memory and I obviously did it a bit too small, but it's not a problem. It isn't a problem. Right, so I'm going to prepare my background. So I pulled some papers from some paper stashes that I've got. So I've got another one from K&Co. And these two, no, this one is from, I can't remember what this one company is called, but it's like an in-house brand for a company called The Range here in the UK. But there you go, it's that one. So there's a nice kind of blue colour with a florally kind of light, creamy, almost eau de nil colour. And then we've got this one, which has got some lovely kind of grasses and flowers. And this is one from Stampin' Up. This was a freebie from Stampin' Up. When you buy a certain amount, you get a free gift, and this was the set of papers was a free gift when I bought some stuff. I replaced some punches, like the hand movement punches, hand punches. So these are what we are going to create and use today. So I'm kind of going to create a freehand sort of torn collage for the background. So I'm going to use this one as my sort of main background, and then this one is going to be for kind of like the foreground, and then I'm going to put that one as the sky, like that, and then the back of this one I'm going to use and create a couple of maybe little mini clouds that go up there. So to start off with, I'm going to build up in layers. So I'm going to just measure that out, and then I will just draw. Actually, I could probably just do it straight up and down, couldn't I? That should do it. Okay, so that's going to be the first one. There's going to be a lot of cutting today, a lot of cutting out, and I'm going to cut within the line. So just quickly whip round there. Okay, so just done a couple of kind of freehandy clouds. So let's take the tag. So we'll glue that down. I'm just going to build the layers up. I'm not going to bother tearing them off or anything. We'll just build the layers up as they are. So let's get the glue down. Really quick with that one because sometimes it can spurt out. Right, so that's that as our first layer. And then I can just turn that around and then just trim around the top, just to kind of neat and tidy-fy it up a little bit. So that's going to be the first layer. Right, so the next layer that I want to do is going to be kind of halfway down. So what I want to do is just create it a little bit higher up. Maybe we should do it that way. So it needs to be about there. Boom, 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 boom. Right, trimmer. Let's just do this quicker. Quicker. Let's just slice that off about there. Pop that down on the floor. Alright, so that's going to be about where we want it. Perfect. Okay, so we said about halfway down. So we'll go halfway down, not necessarily from the point, but from about there. So it's going to be around about there. So what I want to do now is I'm going to tear it to create a kind of landscapey, hills in the distance kind of look. Like so. That's cool. And then that gives us plenty of space in the background to stick my floaty little clouds. Maybe that one there and that one there. Bring it into shot so you can actually see it better. That's pretty much what I want to go for. Alright, so let's just change tack with the glue. And we use some Elmer's this time. No other reason than this is a smaller piece of paper, so I don't have to use a lot of the glue for it. There is still a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, so let's get them clouds down. So about there, we said. And then up there, like so. Now, we can't forget that we have got the hole to punch through, so let's just do that now before we forget. There we go. Okay, so let's just wipe up that excess glue. Tidy as we go. Okay, so the final bit I want to do is this meadow grass with the flowers. So let's just mark out again where we want to be. About there. About there. So let's bring that trimmer back in. Let's cut that off first. Makes it easier to cut then, because we can pretty much get the line by eye, can't we? Bring that tag back in. So I want the grass, or that meadow, kind of to be round about where those flowers are there. Maybe just the tops of those two there, that'll be fine. So I'm going to try and very gently just rip around those, just to kind of keep them in the pattern, but still kind of There we go. And then I can stick that down there. It's just tiny, just a slightly bit too big. So let's just remove. There we go. Just remove that. And then stick that down there. That's perfect. It's just the kind of thing I was looking for. So let's glue that down. Okay. Come on. Let's try and land it up at the bottom. That's it. Okay, so we've kind of built up my little garden scene. Got nice little clouds. We've also got a butterfly up here, but I'm going to save that back for later. Right, so my main character then, so I did say I think I was going to go for the gnome, so I've got my little gnomey character. This is called Noodle. Well, this character's called Noodle. So what I want to do is I want to colour him in. So I think I'm going to break out some of my Copic or alcohol pens and we'll give him a quick colour. Okay, so I've kind of got a mixture here of two different brands of pens. I've got the Letraset Pro markers, which are bullet point at one side and then chisel tip at the other, which I don't think I've ever used. And I've got a few different, well, I've got one each or different types of the Copic markers. I've got the Chows, I've got the ordinaries, and I've got the classic ones, the square ones. You just tend to kind of pick these things up by osmosis most of the time. Right, so what I want to do, just pop him away for a second and just try and add in some green colour without actually, should we do his face first? Just get those out of the way. So let's just add some colour to his hands and his nose. I'm sort of going to leave the beard white and grey, so I'll add in some grey tones to the beard in a little while. So when people colour, they tend to colour in different ways. Some people like to go dark to light. I prefer to go light to dark. That's just the way that I like to do it. Okay. And I'm not going for photorealism. You know, it is a cartoon character when all's said and done. So it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so there's his nose. Right, so let's go. Haven't used these pens in such a long time, so I'm not really kind of sure what colours I'm going to get. So, but we'll just have at it and see what happens. Because they're a lot darker when you're putting them down, and then when they dry, they do tend to go a little bit lighter. So you're never really going to know. Of course, it is easier to blend when they're a little bit darker. Not when they're a little bit darker. When they're a little bit wetter. So. There we go, so we get a little dark colour just around there in the hat. And then the beauty about these is, you see, you can just go back in and blend a little if you think that they're a little bit too sharp. But I like that, and that's okay. I'm happy with that. So we'll do the rest of his gown in that colour. Okay, so that's going to be the green. So I want to do his shoes in red. So start off light again. A nice saturation of colour. And then I'm going to come in with the darker. So what was that one? R14, so this is an R27, so that's going to be darker. And then just go back over that again, just to blend that out a little. And then just finally just go back in just with a real kind of like dark edge and underneath. There we go. And then pick up the R27 again and just kind of feather blend it back out. And then just to finish off, there we go. So that's his foot or his feet, and we're going to do the same thing with the hat. So start off with a lighter colour, the chisel tip again wrong. Right, before I go any further, I've decided I just want to add a little bit more detail. So I think we'll add just like a little buckle on his hat, just to kind of break up that red. Okay. Okay, so I've got an ivory colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly just kind of go around the edges of his beard. And I'm just going to kind of create what looks like some contours and just try and see if I can blend out and bleed out that little bit of over colouring that I've done. So just gentle kind of brush strokes just to give the impression of his beard, but I'm not going to go too mad. It's probably far too subtle for the camera to even pick up. So maybe I need to go maybe a grey colour. Let's see whether this will work. C1, cool grey. Let's see whether or not that's dark enough to do the same. Is that being picked up, I wonder? These colours, I think, are maybe a bit too... Can you see that? I think you can just about see that in this beard. There we go, that'll do. Let me just tidy up these colours, and then I'm sure I've got a darker grey somewhere. But I don't want to go too dark. But I think that'll do for now anyway. Right, so let's get him, flip him over. I did use the back of some other older papers. So let's get some glue down. There we go, that should do. And we can stick him up there. Now then, where I had that butterfly, so we'll grab some of that glue just on there. Sticking on his hat up there like, oh, should we go that way? No, let's go that way. Like that, and then we've got our little quote, of course, which is going to be, there's no place like Nome. Just like that, so we might just be able to scoot him up a little bit. That's why we've got the wiggle room. That's it. And we'll stick those down. Shall I just quickly whip round with a bit of, just for the border. That'll do. Little tiny bit of glue. And I've just dropped it on the floor, I think, because it's stuck to my trousers. No, it's stuck to my trousers. There we go. So there's no place like Nome. Haha. Hey, all that from one letter. So what I'll do is I'll just flip that over, and then I can stick that to the back of the tag so that in later months I can look back and I knew what the inspiration was for that project. And I'll be doing the same thing again each month. I'll be sticking the sheet onto the back. So there you go. So there is my, I didn't finish off that, did I? Just need to quickly go around. Have I got a knife? So that's that side, and I'm going to flip that over and go around like that. And of course, I've lost the hole. There it is. Let's just utilise. I think this is possibly the first time I've ever used those Dina Wakley things. There you go. What did I do with my hand punch? Do you know, I put things down and they just vanish. I swear we've got poltergeists in this house. Because that's what happens. You put things down and they just disappear. They're snatched away from you. That's gone right through. Oh, there they are, look. And miraculously they appear again when you mention it. There we go. So that can go in there, and of course I need a book ring. And a spare one. So we're going to need let's just put a largish one in for now, because I know we're going to be adding a lot to it later on. Okay, so there's the start of my art tag for 2022. So there you go. So that's January's mid-month mini mission inspiration. Don't forget, that's the URL on the screen right now, but there is a clickable link in the description area below to our Facebook group if you'd like to join in with us. Like I said, there's nearly 5,000 people in the group now, all sharing and being inspired by the monthly prompts. So do please pop along and have a look and join in with us. So that's it from me for today. If you've enjoyed watching this video, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. I think that coffee is now cold. It was a bit too warm to start off with. That's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now.
I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.